wasn't expecting things to get kind of crazy there. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Digimon Beat Break, episode 8. And I will be straight up honest. When I went into this episode, I thought I kind of knew where it was going, and that would be all there was to it. It looked like this would be a very standard mission of the week. Tomura reignites with the girl from his class, and I thought that was kind of be it. Like, she'd thank him. I feel like we knew that she was going to meet Gekomon. I'll get more to that in a little minute. But I thought the majority of this episode was him, like, kind of getting his, like, thanks for saving her. And that would be about it as they just go on a mission. Turns out, no. While that was the majority of the episode, things ended on a note of build-up, of excitement, of anticipation, of things that I want to keep seeing where they're going and that I am excited to watch as the show progresses. But we will get to all that as we get to it. First and foremost, we begin where the episode starts. Tomura is going back to his old apartment to get some clothes and supplies, since obviously now he lives with the rest of the squad. I think I pointed this out earlier on. I think the location he lives in is so cool. I know it's supposed to be kind of dystopian, like something happened and this entire city area was just left to like rot in the water and all that, but it's cool. It looks cool. It would be so cool to have an apartment in this area. If this is the slums, it's a heck of a lot better than any slums we have here in New York. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so while he is trying to get into the house, he is reunited with the girl from the first couple episodes who he, got put into a coma while her mind was trapped inside a weird hyena monster. But yeah, so she's back where she immediately meets Gekomon, which made me happy. A lot of Digimon series, it's like, we got to keep the Digimon hidden. You can't let anyone know about them. Keep it a secret. And obviously, our characters in this show aren't broadcasting to the whole world what Digimon are. But I like that if Gekomon shows up, he doesn't try to hide it. The government doesn't come and like erase her memories or none of that bull crap. It's just like, hi, here he is. This is what's going on. And I like that she sort of had a feeling something was up. She kind of remembered him when he was coming to. And I do like they do have a scene where they show that, like, she can tell people what happened and they think she was just being delusional. To go back to what I was just saying, I get so fucking tired of all these shows like this, always making it that, like, knowledge of what's going on ever grows or accumulates. I've said multiple times over the years that I fucking hate amnesia subplots in TV shows and movies, and this is where you think something's gonna happen. You're like, well, it would be so much easier to make it she just doesn't remember. She can be a character of the day and never come back, and the status quo will always be maintained. But no! They took the minute to just say that if you explain what a Digimon is, someone's gonna think you're crazy. And that if that person would just be like, well, you were in a coma anyway, so that's got to do with it. I thought that was a fun little bit. I hope this character is recurring. I know not a lot of people really care about her, but I like the idea of a civilian friend, someone who kind of, I think, keeps things a little more grounded. And I don't just want this for shipping purposes. I know the shippers now are all about Tomura and Reina. And I'm not saying I want to throw this girl into the mix. I'm just saying it'd be kind of nice if a normal person shows up. And who knows, maybe she could become a tamer or whatever the heck you want to call him this season later. That could be kind of fun. They did it with Jerry in season 3, and it's not like tragedy then struck. But anyways, so yeah, where she's hanging out with Tomura, they talk, she thanks him for saving her and all that stuff. And then she's like, oh yeah, something else is going on. She takes them back to their school, where it turns out students have been going missing. And of course, naturally, she wants our main character to help them. Meanwhile, at the other side of town, Reina and the other one whose name I haven't remembered yet, but I think the next episode's about him, so we'll probably nail it down then. They get their new mission for the week. I also like they explain that, like, Kyo's still sleeping from last week. Nice little continuity right there. They are going to go investigate the situation as well, which is mostly just a convenient reason to get them all in the same room at once, because, they're our squad. But yeah, so Tomura and the girl, they go to the school to look for the missing kids. They go to the room where the kids were last seen, where they are then absorbed by, what's it called, Mimicmon, based on, like mimics from video games and shit, where Mimicmon sends them into his little, like, digital space, where it turns out he has all the students tied up to drain them of their e-pulse. I like the detail that he intentionally is going after intelligent students. Now, it ties into the fact that this Digimon manifested from the one kid and his desire to be number one, but I also kind of wonder, is there some insinuation there that different Digimon like different kinds of e-pulse? Because obviously the Digimon then wouldn't cooperate with the guy like the other Digimon of the week have. It intentionally like trapped him as well and just went along with everything. A little bit of interesting thing. I'll be curious if we address further if like different Digimon react to different sorts of like brain energy or whatever the heck you want to call it. But yeah, so naturally our two heroes get captured. Our other two heroes show up to save them. And of course, naturally, this leads to a big standard digital brawl where the solution to how to short out the Mimicmon is something you see kind of pretty often in stuff like this. It's overload the Mimicmon with the energy it's trying to steal. In this case, of course, we have Tomura's E-Pulse, which then overloads the Digimon, allowing for our heroes to beat him up. They then get all the kids back. We fast forward to later at the hospital. Tomura is holding the little Digimon, and then the Digimon gets loose and wanders off because naturally they don't want to be captured, where he is then ironically captured by who will most likely be our big baddie for this season, the sort of head of public security or whatever you want to call it. He's there, catches the Digimon, and is like, oh, we're going to kill him. And Tomura's like, don't kill him, cuz! And then he stops. Again, I love the little bit of continuity here, and that is that as much as it sucks, this Digimon's gotta die. Someone here has to be sacrificed to protect all the ones they're hiding and keeping safe in the observatory. And I like you have that moment on Tomura's face where he stops himself and he realizes, as shitty as this is, it's what's kind of got to happen. But I like that this guy isn't stupid. He clearly knows something is up and our three heroes are hiding something. I think it's interesting he goes right towards the third kid and immediately wants to seem like he wants to bug him. I wonder if there's a connection between the two. I'd love it if we see it next week, and that this week was just a sort of like build to that. I said previously that I thought it was odd that we did the Reina episode and then we just kind of didn't talk about this other kid. I'd love it is because he's more like tied to the main overall world and plot, and that's what we're sort of building to. They want to take a few more episodes to like have the status quo intact and then start building from there. But no, so naturally from there, we fast forward to the next day. Tomura is walking to school, I assume mostly just to check on the girl and make sure everything's okay, where we get maybe my favorite scene of the episode, which was a flashback to the night prior, where the student reveals he actually was a piece of shit. And he's all like, you can't tell them. They think I'm a victim. I can't ruin any chance I have of getting to Shangri-La Egg or whatever he called the big dome city that probably won't have as much riz as the waterfront ghetto. This scene is great. So I talked before about wanting to maintain the status quo. Now, Tomura keeps this kid secret and everything is allowed to go back. We see that the city council puts in this bullshit excuse as to what happened, and all of this is really clever and really intelligent. All of this is done in the same set of scenes intentionally to set you up that this is wrong, this is bad, this is the antagonistic force of the show. The way the city just hand waves away a serious threat while everything is still lingering and growing in the background. The fact that someone at age like 15 is so obsessed with getting to high rise and like the top of the city and the rich people territory, he is willing to basically just take everything that just happened and put it aside so he can continue to get to this crazy goal. I think that's really clever. I think that is really intentionally good writing. I think it is to set so much up. It is to give you so many ideas as to what is happening in the show, and I can't wait for more because goddamn it, I am loving me some Digimon Beat Break. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this week's episode. Do you like all this setup? Do you still find it weird that we still don't know when Gekomon is digivolving? What do you think about the bad guys? Tell me about all that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and have yourselves a happy Thanksgiving.